New school for Grand Rapids.
And Honda expands their recent recall. I'm Caleb Scanlon.
And I'm Samantha Ruff, and this is your Public Eye News. Last night, traffic had to be rerouted on US 41 due to a two-car accident that happened around 10:30 p.m. A pickup truck traveling east lost control and went across the highway, colliding with another pickup traveling west. The Michigan State Police and Marquette City Police were on the scene directing traffic. 2 people were taken to UP Health Systems Marquette with unknown injuries. The Gogebic Iron Area Narcotics Team issued a search warrant that resulted in the arrest of 2 females and 3 males. The suspects are currently in the Gogebic County Jail on multiple violations of the Controlled Substance Act, which includes but not only limited to the delivery of heroin.
Graduate students in NMU's exercise science class have been busy studying the effects of regular exercise as a form of medication for certain diseases. The students delivered on topics including exercise's positive effect on Alzheimer's, cancer, and cardiovascular health. From their studies, the students learned that regular exercise could reduce anxiety, depression, and chronic fatigue. Each patient should be prescribed according to their individual needs. A symposium will be held in the Mead Auditorium inside the West Science Building tonight until 6 p.m. The event is open to the public. A homeless man has been charged by Pontiac authorities after he stole an unattended ambulance parked outside of a hospital to visit a strip club in Detroit. Brian Criscio was arraigned Tuesday on charge of unlawfully driving away an automobile. If released from his $5,000 bond, Criscio will be required to wear a tracking device. Police say that a cell phone was left in this ambulance and was tracked to find the vehicle where it was stopped in Sterling Heights. Criscio was reported as the only person inside. The ambulance and equipment were not damaged.
In Grand Rapids, Michigan, the formerly known daycare center is being converted into the first Islamic grade school for the area. The academy will hold its open house this Saturday to get support for the new school. Kamal Nuruddin, who is a member of the school's planning committee, says the open house will be a test to see what kind of support they will get. Records show the property was in foreclosure and purchased for $270,000 in April. Since then, the Islamic Foundation of West Michigan has made repairs to the 12,000 square foot building. The death of a Winona State University student in Wisconsin at a restaurant is being investigated. The chief investigator is saying he has not yet found a witness to provide information explaining how the woman ended up in a food elevator. Half of the customers and employees who were present at the Wing Dam Saloon and Grill were interviewed. The university has identified the student as 21-year-old Brooke Bowers of Cheddick, who is an employee at the restaurant. The university will be holding a vigil today to remember Bowers, who is a senior and a gymnast. And after the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
The first time I saw these parachutes coming down and then realizing, that there were chocolates, I thought, wow,
It wasn't the candy that was important. What was important was that somebody in America knew I was in trouble and somebody cared.
The children of post-war Germany would never forget the tender miracle of Gail Halverson, the candy bomber.
Thursday at 10 p.m.
Welcome back. Investigators are being sent by the National Transportation Safety Board to the scene of a crash between 2 Tennessee school buses that killed 2 small children and a teacher's aide. During a preliminary investigation, it was discovered that the buses were traveling in the opposite directions on Asheville Highway when one of the drivers made a sudden left turn across the concrete median and crashed into another bus. The second bus then flipped onto its side, killing 3 people and implementing injuries to 3 others. At this time, police are not saying why they believe the driver of the first bus crossed the median. Honda is expanding a recall of cars with Takata driver's side airbags to all 50 states. The announcement came as lawmakers grilled a top official from Takata after the company ignored a midnight deadline to expand its recent recall of defective airbags. Allison Harmelin has the story from New York.
House lawmakers want to know why millions of cars with defective airbags are still on the road.
The incredibly slow response to this problem is just the latest reminder that we need stronger laws to protect drivers.
Airbags made by the Japanese company Takata are linked to several deaths and dozens of injuries. They can inflate suddenly, shooting metal pieces into the passenger compartment.
Any failure of even one airbag to perform as designed in an automobile accident is incompatible with Takata's mission.
In a statement prior to this morning's hearing, Takata said there's no evidence to support a nationwide recall and the government doesn't have the authority to tell a parts maker to issue a recall. But the company has already recalled cars in southern humid states where an explosion is considered more likely.
Takata continues to believe that the public safety is best served if the area of high absolute humidity remains a priority.
Officials from Toyota, Honda, and BMW were also on Capitol Hill this morning.
We want to inform you that Honda is going to expand our existing regional safety improvement campaign on affected driver airbag inflators to a national campaign.
Takata plans to form a panel to investigate its manufacturing process while the government is exploring its next steps, which could include fines. Allison Harmelin for CBS News.
The death of a 12-year-old boy who had a pellet gun when he was shot by a Cleveland police officer is expected to have a large crowd at his memorial service. The service will honor Tamir Rice at Mount Sinai Baptist Church, which will be open to the public as long as space is available. Tamir's family has thanked supporters and said a donation fund was set up to help pay for the funeral. The rookie officer who shot the boy November 22nd thought he had a real firearm. A grand jury will make the decision of whether or not charges will be applied. In the aftermath of the police shooting in Ferguson, President Barack Obama wants to distribute 50,000 body-worn cameras to local police departments. In New Orleans area, some officers have them, but others do not because, as WWL's Paul Murphy reports, they're too expensive to purchase and maintain.
Right now, there are 440 body cameras deployed throughout the New Orleans Police Department. The city's police superintendent says a new policy that went into effect this week should improve usage and officers' understanding of what is expected of them.
Every single call for service, they have to document whether or not the camera was present, whether it was functioning, and whether they used it, both body camera and vehicle camera.
Chief Michael Harrison admits the initial rollout of cameras was challenging.
We have some training issues that we worked through to teach those officers, and we've had some discipline where it has shown that the officers did not violate policy as a citizen alleged, but we have some that show that the officer did.
Here at the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Newell Norman says he would love to get body cameras for his officers, but he says when you factor in the cost of cloud storage and the infrastructure it would take to manage and categorize the video, body cameras suddenly become cost prohibitive for many departments. He said it would cost his department about $2 million a year, which is 2% of his budget.
It becomes a very costly solution, one in which would require not only additional money, but additional manpower in order to manage it.
New Orleans Independent Police Monitor says cameras are worth considering because they regulate behavior.
They will record shootings, they will record uses of force, misbehavior, and proper behavior. And so they are definitely an independent witness.
An additional 100 body cameras are expected to be deployed next week in New Orleans. Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
According to the UN Weather Agency, this year is currently tied for the hottest on record. They claim that all signs indicate that the world keeps getting warmer. The World Meteorological Organization announced at the UN Climate Conference in Lima, Peru, that the global average temperatures through the end of September was 0.57 degrees Celsius above average. The agency's Secretary General said in a statement there is no standstill in global warming. 14 of the 15th warmest years on record have occurred in the 21st century. In the heart of modern Rome, archaeologists have unearthed an ancient commercial farm. The farm was discovered while subway construction is taking place, allowing more access to study the urban setting. Notable finds included a three-pronged iron pitchfork and traces eroded in stone of a water wheel. Rosella Ray, the dig's leader, and a cultural ministry official said that they also found well-preserved willow tree roots and peach pits, presumably from the farm's orchard. Ray mentioned that peaches were a pricey market novelty for consumers at that time. And after the break, we'll have your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
Coming up this week on High School Bowl, our first returning team of the year, the Escanaba Eskimos, take on the Dollar Bay Bays. Hi, I'm Jim Koski. In our second game this week, we'll see which jet flies higher and which jet flies faster as the Painesdale Jeffers Jets take on the North Central Jets. That's coming up this week on High School Bowl.
Hi, I'm Jenny Tichkowski, and welcome back to Public Eye News. As you can see behind me, it's a cloudy day on campus, and it's definitely windy, so if you're heading outside, make sure to bundle up. Currently, it is cloudy with a temperature of 24 degrees and winds out of the west-northwest at 19 miles per hour and a barometric pressure of 29.94 inches and steady. And tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy with a low of 10 degrees and winds out of the west at 14 miles per hour. And tomorrow it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 23 and winds out of the south-southwest at 11 miles per hour. And looking around the UP, it is currently 27 and cloudy in Sault Ste. Marie, 25 and partly cloudy in Manistee, 23 and sunny in Escanaba, 25 and sunny in Menominee, 21 and mostly sunny in Iron Mountain, 18 and cloudy in Ironwood, 21 and snowy in Houghton, and back here in Marquette, it's 24 and cloudy. And looking ahead at the weekend, Friday has a high of 34, low of 23 and cloudy, and Saturday has a high of 27, low of 14 and partly cloudy, and Sunday is also going to be partly cloudy with a high of 34 and low of 28. So things are starting to cool down in the UP, but I heard they're heating up at the University of Michigan.
Well, if by heating up you mean a coach being fired, you'd be right. As of late, the University of Michigan football program has looked like just any other program, and that's the major reason why the Wolverines will have new leadership next season. Head coach Brady Hoke was fired Tuesday after Michigan stumbled to a 5-7 record and missed the postseason in his fourth year at the helm. Interim athletic director Jim Hackett's announcement ended weeks of speculation over Hoke's future, saying, quote, "This was not an easy decision. He's really earned the respect of all as being valued center coach. We need more men like him in sport today," end quote. Hoke's record, however, fell well short of Michigan standards, and the university is currently scouting a new head coach for next season. The Minnesota Twins have announced the signing of outfielder Torrey Hunter to a $10.5 million one-year contract. The Twins agreed to terms with Hunter on Tuesday night and announced the deal on Wednesday after Hunter passed a physical. Hunter spent his first 11 seasons with the Twins before starting a $90 million 5-year contract with the Los Angeles Angels in 2008. Hunter spent the 2 previous seasons in Detroit batting .286 with 17 home runs and 83 RBIs for the Tigers last year. Hunter will turn 40 in July and will be relied upon to provide some offensive punch while also serving as a mentor for some of the Twins' young talent. The University of Alabama Birmingham is shutting down its football program, the first school at football bowl subdivision to do so since Pacific in 1995. School president Ray Watts informed the team of the move Tuesday afternoon, while also announcing the cancellations of other school teams, including bowling and rifling. Fears about UAB's football future begins to bubble over the past month when former players publicly released a letter expressing concerns over a campus-wide strategic planning study. The decision comes as UAB reached bowl eligibility Saturday for the first time since 2004 and second time in school history. Since its inception as a Division III program in 1991, it has suffered from lack of success and inadequate funding.
Sounds like maybe they should ask Santa for some money for Christmas.
Well, what really is a good way to reach Santa?
I'll tell you a way you shouldn't get a hold of Santa. 2 young brothers from Mayville, Wisconsin are hoping that they didn't make the jump to the naughty list after calling 911, hoping to be connected with the North Pole and in turn Santa. The brothers, who are 3 and 6 years old, considered their Christmas list an emergency and used their dad's cell phone to place the call. Mayville police officers went to the boys' house and gave them some advice. If you want to talk to Santa, write him a letter. Gotta admire that, though.
That's all the time today we have for Public Eye News. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.